We're going to get right into the word. Jeremiah, the 18th chapter.
Yes, okay.
Jeremiah 18. We have a word. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, there's a word in the house. Look at your other neighbor because they didn't respond to you. Say, neighbor, there's a word in the house. Amen. Jeremiah 18. Jeremiah 18 and 1.
Come on with it. Amen.
And I'll read, beginning at the first verse. And it reads, the word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot not do with you as this potter, saith the Lord. Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hands, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel.
Come on with it.
If I was going to use the topic today, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, he can do it. He can do it if you stay in his hand. Y'all say it again. Say, neighbor, he can do it if you stay in his hand. Amen.
Come on with it.
The evangelist during devotion began to kind of touch on it, talking about struggling. And we all have struggles, whether they be physical, mental, spiritual. We all are struggling with something, amen. And where we get confused and the enemy wants us to get mixed up and misunderstand is that we get under the impression, Bishop, that when we come into the house of God, we no longer struggle. They feel that when you walk through the doors of the church, the struggle is over. And we hear the song, they saying the struggle is over. It's true. You get over one, another one starts. Amen. So we have to get out of that concept that just because I come to church, I don't struggle.
Amen. That's right.
If you're sitting in the church and you're not struggling, you need to check yourself, because there's a real strong possibility that you are lost and don't realize it. When you begin to talk about struggling, we have people in the church struggling. We have people on the praise team struggling. We have people playing the keyboard struggling. We're playing the drums struggling, but we never admit to our struggle because we feel that it shows weakness. We never admit to our struggle because we're so afraid of people looking down on us. We're so afraid of people judging us because of our struggle. But if you can realize that the struggle is just going to get me closer to God, I'm going to embrace my struggle. You ought to say, I'm going to embrace. You got to say it like you mean it. I will embrace my struggle. Here the Bible begins to speak about the potter.
Come on.
And God began to speak to Jeremiah.
Yes.
And he began to use an illustration of a potter molding some clay.
Yes.
And it says that he went down to the potter's house and he saw the potter working a work on the wheels. It's very important that we see wheels. Not wheel, but wheels. Wheels signifies stability.
Come on.
You got a unicycle, you got one wheel.
Yes.
You got a bicycle, you got two wheels. Notice the more wheels you have, the more stability you have. God double shot. Then you begin to progress to a tricycle. You got 3 wheels. And some of us are fortunate to drive cars that have 4 wheels. And you're able to drive. But each stage signifies a level. Because all of us in here are not high. God help me here. Too many of us are too comfortable riding in the car. Too many of us, we'll consider that the shallow water. You're comfortable because you know it's not too much that's going to happen on 4 wheels. So you never progress past 4 wheels, you stay there. Can I get a witness in the house? Follow me, I'm going somewhere with it. But if we can ever embrace the struggle that we're going through, you learn that 4 wheels isn't going to get it done. Why? Because 4 wheels can only take you through the broad way. Somebody gonna get that in a couple of minutes. Broadway is easy to travel. Broadway is easy to travel. Why? Because you got a lot of room to operate. And when you have a lot of room to operate, you give the devil a lot of room to operate in your space. And when you have too much space, you have rooms that you don't know what's going on in there. And before you know it, the devil done creep in your space, but he hidden somewhere because it's too much space. But if you learn about the potter and his wheels, he worked with what? 2 wheels. Brother Todd, he worked with 2 wheels, and that signifies for us that straight and narrow. God was trying to get Jeremiah to understand that we can't operate in a lot of space. Because when you have a lot of space, your space is invaded very easily because you can't manage all of that space. But Jeremiah began to see that the potter worked the work on the wheels, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter.